Hook your ankle into the Velcro strap and then line that leg up with the cable. You want to lean your torso slightly forward at about a 45 to 60 degree angle so that you have a more consistent tension curve throughout the range of motion. And just standing upright will place the majority of the tension on the glutes only at the bottom. You want to brace yourself against the cable machine while slightly leaning forward and slightly leaning away from your active kickback leg. With the knees slightly bent, you want to initiate the concentric by thinking about pulling the lower aspect of your glutes to the upper aspect of your glutes. And even though the exercise is called a kickback, I like to think of it more as a swing back, since emphasizing the kicking component is going to shift emphasis onto the quads and away from the glutes. Whereas thinking about swinging your leg back and up in an arc will emphasize pure hip extension, keeping the glutes at the forefront. You should also consciously think about keeping your hamstrings soft with more lax knees, which is further going to shift that emphasis onto the glutes as the main hip extensor. You can also think about swinging the weight slightly out laterally, which will help target the upper glutes a bit more. However, above anything, I'd simply recommend finding a movement path that gives you the best combination of mind-muscle connection and comfort, rather than trying to force an awkward position just for some potential theoretical benefit. Now, the eccentric will be essentially a reverse of the concentric, and the most important thing here is to really treat the negative as a sort of failed positive, where you're not just letting the weight fall down as your leg swings back in, but rather consciously resisting the weight while feeling your glutes stretch under tension as you lower the weight under control. Since we're doing higher reps here, you want to get in a nice, comfortable swinging groove and do your best to maintain a consistent tempo, meaning your lifting speed should be the same for rep 1 as it is for rep 15, so don't move the weight progressively faster and with less control as the set goes on. Now, ironically, I think the main, most common error that I see with the kickback is simply kicking back too much. As I said earlier, too much kicking is going to shift the emphasis away from the glutes and onto the quads. So as a fix, instead of just moving the weight back, you want to really focus on squeezing your glutes to move the weight out and up in an arc. Another common error is having too much upper body movement. Although some upper body movement is fine, you don't want to rely on upper body momentum to carry your active leg up as a counterbalance. You should brace your upper body against the cable frame and keep it nice and stable, initiating every movement from the glutes. So donkey kickbacks are a reasonable alternative here, which you can set up on the lying leg curl or Smith machine. However, these machines tend to lock you into position more and can prevent that freedom of motion for finding an ideal movement path for your particular skeleton. So I prefer the cable kickback to these other machine-based variations, but they are an option.